COVID-19 is a virus that originated in Wuhan, China. It began spreading on December 31st, 2019, and it only took until March 11th, 2020 that the World Health Organization officially classified it as a pandemic. Not long after that, on March 18th, schools shut down in Sweden and resorted to online classes to continue the education. On March 25th, the rest of the world officially shut down a majority of their schools as well. Let's see what students and teachers at VBU, plus a student from Germany, thinks about the whole situation and how it affected them in particular.
So when Corona started, I was an exchange student in Michigan, USA, and my school closed down and we had to take all of our stuff away from school, and we thought we were gonna come back after 3 weeks and have school as normal. When I left America, it was locked down, so I couldn't say goodbye to any of my friends or leave my house. And when I came back to Sweden, it was a whole different situation here. It was pretty much normal here, and people didn't really care, it felt like. In December, school closed down again here in Sweden. And that's when I had my first online school. And for me, it was pretty easy, but what I missed was being able to get help from teachers in personal, and of course meeting my friends, and especially now when I'm in my senior year.
Now let's see what students who are here in Sweden has to say. Hugo is another student at VBU who was actually here when quarantine started.
Jag har sagt du borde lämna den där mannen nu ikväll.
I wasn't surprised that the school closed. It was just a question of when it would close, to be honest. It was sad at the beginning, but after a while you got used to the situation. In the future, I hope that the school gets back to its normal. It's so sad that you can't even hang out with your friends in school, and yeah.
The students were actually not the only ones that were affected by the situation. Some of the teachers were quite startled as well. Lotta is a teacher at VBU who was also affected.
My reaction when the school was closing down was some panic, because we had a lot of media students, and they are working on computers, so we had to fix so all our students could have the media computers with them. I think the future is working both at home and in school.
Eric is another teacher at VBU who also has some things to say about this.
My reaction to the school closure was very negative for many reasons. One of the main reasons is you become a teacher to be involved with students and make them progress in whatever subject you're teaching. And a school without students is a very big and empty building. And of course, the most negative thing is for a lot of students this was difficult to handle distance studies from home. I think perhaps one thing that we're going to take from this as a positive thing is that we've seen that it works somewhat to have distance education, but I've also noticed how important it is for people to have the social interaction that they get from school.
Now let's see what someone who does not live in Sweden at all has to say. Caro is a student from Germany, whose country has been in complete lockdown.
I remember as our school was shutting down that I was really sad. I really hadn't some motivation to do this stuff at home, and I just was really uncertain how life goes on now. I think our teachers really wanted to do the best for us, but they also don't know how to work with these apps and with online classes, and yeah, they did their best, so it was okay.
Finally, let's see what a principal has to say. Karina is the principal at VUX, and she has also had to make a lot of changes to adapt to the quarantine.
Well, it was in March 2020. We were all surprised about the sudden restriction. We sent all our students home overnight, and they were supposed to do distance studies from that moment. We have groups that were good prepared to do this new kind of studies that were used to the digital tools and actually found it good or even better than the classroom education that we had before. But we have groups that are not prepared and that didn't have the digital tools, that didn't have the internet connection or the motivation, and they lack the help they got from being in classroom.
In conclusion, it seems like people weren't really surprised when the lockdown happened. Still, there were a lot of mixed reactions, some positive, some negative, but it still looks like they weren't really ready for the sudden changes in their lives. It seems like the only thing we can do for now is to hold on and get through the pandemic, and do our best to not put others at risk.